Welcome to Intuitive Astrology with Molly McCord. Thank you so much for joining me today as we're going to take a look at how to energetically prepare for the incoming 2025 astrological transiting energies. And as I go through what these transiting energies are, we're going to relate them to each of your 7 chakras and how they are growing in their multidimensional experience and expressions. We're going to focus specifically on the outer planets, starting with Jupiter, and then touching on Saturn, Chiron, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, as each one is going to have powerful activations in 2025 and beyond. So the intention here is to energetically prepare you for your own multidimensional growth as the outer planets change signs and move into new themes, expressions, and evolutionary understandings within our energy bodies. This can also give you a heads up on where you're going to be experiencing these energies, especially as the planets change signs. So I'm going to go through all 6 of these planets and discuss what each one will be connecting with and activating for you in 2025. So let's get to it here and begin with Jupiter. In 2025, Jupiter will continue to move through Gemini until June 9th, 2025. Jupiter in Gemini is activating more of your truth, what you need to speak in a more empowered, strengthened way. Jupiter in Gemini is bringing your attention to your throat chakra and how you're able to express what's on your mind, what you're thinking, what you're considering, and how you can do it with wisdom. Jupiter expands and actually provides a spiritual bubble that allows us to grow and evolve within a protected container. So this Jupiter in Gemini has been guiding you to get to the truth of your words, the truth of your thoughts, and to put them into conscious expression and communications that allows you to feel empowered and strong in what you need to say, what you need to write, what you need to teach or study, as well as to trust the brilliance of your own thoughts. Gemini is the energy of seeing things in multiple ways from 2 perspectives, understanding that you can view an experience from one perspective and also gain information and knowledge from another. So we become more intentional with how we think, what we focus on, and we can allow that to elevate us to be more self-aware in what we're processing, communicating, and saying. Now, as this Jupiter moves into Cancer on June 9th, 2025, this is where the energy drops into the heart chakra. So now Jupiter is going to be expanding your heart, emotional world, desires for connection, seeking comfort, understanding what you need that brings about more self-care. This is also getting to the heart of what you feel and allowing that to be a truth that you trust and you own without being overly defensive, highly sensitive, or retracting back what you are and what you need. Jupiter moving into Cancer is now going to open up more of what your heart has been holding and containing that you're meant to see and feel at a deeper level of your being. There's a softening of the energy with Jupiter in Cancer, and it brings you into more of what you want to magnetize in through that heart chakra desire for connection. So this could be that the heart chakra is being cleared and cleaned. It could also feel that it's becoming purer. There's more empathy for self, more understanding of the wisdom you've collected throughout your life path. There can also be a resurgence of strength here within that heart chakra, especially as it's now getting new energy, a new boost from this Jupiter influence to grow and expand even more. There could be new areas of life blooming for you here in the heart chakra, because that's how Jupiter in Cancer grows. There is new life, new feelings, new joy, new happiness. This could certainly be an area of your life and an area of your chart where you feel more positive and uplifted. You could even feel greater love within your being, whether that is a love shared with another or simply a love that you're holding within your own emotional container. So Jupiter in Cancer is going to be very supportive of that heart chakra and opening you up to more of that pure connection and higher wisdom that the heart chakra holds. We haven't had an outer planet in Cancer for a while, and after the intensity of Capricorn energies that were opposing Cancer planets, this is going to feel particularly uplifting, loving, kind, and supportive for energies in Cancer. Next, let's move on to Saturn, as Saturn will spend a number of months in Pisces in 2025. Saturn will stay in Pisces until May 25th, then enter Aries and return back into Pisces September 2nd, 2025. So Saturn spends roughly 9 months of 2025 in Pisces, and this is connecting to the crown chakra and how you are actively and realistically using your intuition on a daily basis. Saturn in Pisces is requiring us to be responsible with our crown chakra, to understand the power it holds, that our direct link to this guidance is what is supporting us beyond what we can always see, touch, or comprehend. But this is where we are beautifully connecting to universal flow, high-level downloads, guidance that reminds us of our intuitive powers and abilities. And in 2025, Saturn is going to require us to be actively using our intuition to make decisions, to navigate our lives, to understand where our energy is designed to go, where to show up, how to move through our responsibilities and commitments. And I feel that this is where many people are going to start to have a higher integration with their crown chakra. And it feels too like that's already been in play since Saturn has been in Pisces. But this is where the energy could even feel difficult at times, difficult to manage, because that Saturn in Pisces wants you to take your intuition seriously, wants you to trust it, wants you to go on a path that you can't see, wants you to move in a direction that you could have a lot of uncertainty around. And so this is where we are mastering the crown chakra with these Pisces energies, because the Pisces energies are guiding us to higher states of our own beingness, connecting us to our higher senses so that we're not only in the 5 senses of the human experience. We're also elevating our clairs, clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance, etc. We are doing so with the Saturn in Pisces. So you could have had in 2023, 2024, some experiences with your own intuition where when you trusted it, it paid off. And when you didn't trust it, you were like, oh, goodness, I knew to trust myself and I didn't. So next time I will trust myself better. We are learning how essential these Pisces energies are at this time on the planet. We are learning how our crown chakra is key to our ongoing ascension. It's also what elevates us above the human experience to see the bigger picture of our journeys. So the Saturn in Pisces in 2025 is going to be very essential to master, to be in your intuitive abilities more and more. Now, Neptune is also in Pisces in 2025. I will touch on that here in a moment, but understand that with Saturn there, you are up-leveling based on the past 30 years, because it takes Saturn 30 years to move through all 360 degrees of the astrological wheel. So this is a high ascension point. This is a mastery point where you really are being supported in working with your intuition daily daily and to see how that is showing up for you and how it's working for you. Are you truly trusting it, or are you overly focused on the mind, on the body, on the tangible energies of the planet only? Because this Saturn, along with Neptune and Pisces, are saying this is a key time in our spiritual evolution, and it's going to be even more essential going forward that you have ways of working with your intuition like never before. Now, as I mentioned, Saturn is in Pisces for about 9 months, but Saturn will go into Aries starting on May 25th, 2025 until September 2nd, 2025. And as Saturn moves into Aries, we take all of that spiritual brilliance, intuition, expanded understanding of your new abilities to navigate the human plane. We take all of that brilliant, multidimensional, sparkly crown essence, and Saturn brings it into the root chakra, brings it down to that root location in your energy field, where now you are getting a resurgence of intuitive guidance that's being connected to the root chakra purpose of who you are now. Connecting those higher vibrations to your primal programming, bringing down all of that multidimensional wisdom into the body for deeper integration. And this is not only happening through Saturn, it's also happening through Neptune. So visualize the energy of that crown chakra now being brought back to your grounded energy on this planet, and how that activates more stamina, vitality, strengthened in a sense of self, mission, purpose, what you're here to experience, and how you're here to live as a new version of yourself in this lifetime. Saturn is grounding, Saturn is practical, and so we're now meant to integrate that higher ascension point energy into our physical body in a more personal manner. And it's almost like getting plugged in at a high level. This is an upgrade when you take that crown chakra energy into the root chakra, because what you have now is a resurgence of energy that's fresh, new, inspired, and newly powerful. So as we approach 2025, this is a beautiful time for you to visualize these energies, to open up these flows so that you are prepared for your own next steps and the new starts that Saturn in Aries will bring about, but that you're doing so with full ownership over your journey, over what you've learned, what you've come to understand, the wisdom you've obtained through real life experiences. Now you have a sense of, I'm ready for this new chapter, whatever it may be, that Saturn in Aries is directing me to. Now, because Saturn re-enters Pisces, then we're going to see the energy return up to the crown chakra. And so this will happen September 2nd until February 14th, 2026. So then we have the energy in that root chakra now being turned back up to the crown chakra frequencies. So there's a connection going on for all of us in 2025 between the crown chakra to the root chakra and back again. Visualize this energy flow for yourself. It's not only happening with Saturn, it's also happening with Neptune. Look at how we're becoming the new versions of ourselves. We're becoming more spiritually evolved and more enlightened. We're understanding what it means to take what we've obtained through our intuition and our multidimensional senses and bring it into the physical body to feel that elevation and levitation, not only in our auras and our energy fields, but at a cellular level. So this is a powerful connection here between that root chakra and crown chakra that will be unfolding throughout 2025. Now, next up is Chiron, and Chiron is going to continue through Aries in 2025. So this again returns us to root chakra healing our personal experiences in other lifetimes, healing parts of those soul wounds that we continue to take care of for ourselves. This is where we look at where that Aries energy has been too much, because with Chiron, it not only softens it, but it makes it more vulnerable, makes it more personal and more relatable. Chiron's influence comes into each astrology sign and shows what is weak, what needs to be tended to, what needs to be healed, and how that takes time. And the Aries energy isn't accustomed to that. The Aries energy wants to move full steam ahead. And here Chiron brings in delays, setbacks, discomfort, insecurities. There can be a lack of confidence with Chiron energies. And all of that is showing up in the root chakra, which relates to how we feel strong and present in our own energy systems. So we are reprogramming what that truly means for us. We're meant to be working beyond our immediate gratification, immediate desires. We're meant to be understanding the deeper wounding that can hide beneath the surface. Chiron is where we need assistance and support. It's where we can seek out others for comfort and strength. So Chiron in Aries continues throughout 2025, and it's revealing where in your root chakra you perhaps have felt vulnerable, dismissed, abandoned, bullied, rejected, where parts of your sense of self were not fully embraced, respected, or honored. So we are doing our personal work here around who we are in this lifetime with Chiron in Aries. And as it relates to the root chakra, it's asking you to look at what's weak in trusting your multidimensional self, in trusting your own expansion, in trusting what it means to be grounded here in a human body. Sometimes those primal energies are way too big in the root chakra. We're too focused on survival or fight or flight. We're too focused on the now and even being greedy, grabbing for things. There can be a lot of insecurity in that root chakra and a lot of fear that's operating around root chakra needs. So Chiron is asking you to come into trusting yourself more, trusting who you are, trusting your capabilities, that you can handle it, you can do this, you've got what it takes to be who you are in this lifetime, and that you could be looking at new wounds or fresh versions of old wounds as a way to further strengthen them and love yourself more, to be more loving around who you are, the reality of who you are, without it needing to be a certain way, without having to idealize it or overcompensate in some manner. So this Chiron in Aries is where our root chakras have already been working to heal who we are. And that's going to continue throughout 2025. But the energy here in the Aries sections of your chart are going to be receiving that influence of Saturn, which is taking responsibility, being clearer, moving slower, also commanding more respect and dignity for who you are, feeling stronger in your choices and moving in a direction that's correct for you. And this is going to help as Saturn travels behind Chiron in Aries. So wherever that Chiron in Aries has come through and revealed what needs time to heal, what isn't rushed. And so you've been trusting that parts of yourself are slowly getting better. You no longer have to be a warrior. You could feel like you're a wounded warrior, but that's beautiful because of the humanity of it all. And there's something about the Saturn traveling behind Chiron that's going to give you a sense of purpose now and strength around what you're capable of because of what Chiron has been teaching you. So a lot is really being reprogrammed in our root chakra. And I feel it as we're getting a new, more evolved sense of self that's going to become clearer into 2025 and beyond. Now, after Chiron in our solar system, we have Uranus. And in 2025, Uranus continues through Taurus until July 7th. Then Uranus enters Gemini and travels through the first few degrees of Gemini. It only gets to 1 degree 28 minutes of Gemini, and then we'll re-enter Taurus November 8th, 2025. So Uranus has only 4 months in Gemini, but this is also a powerful energy shift. Taurus energy relates to the sacral chakra. And with Uranus in Taurus, it has been activating how we use our creativity, our passions, our desire. It relates to how we create intimate relationships and feel strong expressing ourselves, including through emotions, sexuality, creativity, and being grounded in our bodies and the experience of being human while on this planet. So Uranus is shaking up what that looks like. How do I want to use my energies to be more creative, to have a passionate life? Taurus is also connected to how we feel secure and stable on the planet. Yet Uranus coming through shakes all that up, brings about instability and uncertainty. So how do we remain strong in our core and in trusting ourselves amongst all the changes in the world? The sacral chakra is essential for understanding that we are worthy. You are worthy of sharing your gifts and being an alive human. You are worthy of experiencing pleasure and joy and harmony. And how can you be in a place of feeling alive with those frequencies without going into any worst case scenarios about being blocked financially, creatively, sexually, or otherwise? The sacral chakra is where we can be storing trauma around any of our gifts, any of our desires to connect with others, and where we hold back expressing who we are and what we need. So Uranus in Taurus is asking us to really look at the parts of ourselves that maybe we have pushed aside or we were too uncomfortable to fully own. Uranus in Taurus wants you to own the strength of that sacral chakra and wants you to be aware that it's being revitalized here and upgraded, and that you could have some beautiful new inspirations showing up, more creative gifts, more ways of loving being in your body. Even a strengthening of the body is possible here. Uranus in Taurus doesn't allow us to be settled or comfortable, and you could feel that energy perhaps moving through your sacral chakra or perhaps all of your beingness, that there are new points of you coming alive. There is a different sense of your electromagnetic field. There's a new powerful way you want to express who you are. So I feel this is really powerful activations here in the sacral chakra as it grows into more multidimensional connection points. And I'm just seeing that visually. I'm seeing all of this so visually as these sparkly, expanded chakras that are actually holding bigger energy fields. And because chakra is about spinning energy fields, that it's this wheel of energy moving through us, the wheel is expanding and it has more light codes, more essences that it's holding because of what we've cleared out. We have cleared out so much through our dark nights of the soul, through our inner child healing, by addressing trauma, abuse, and really intense emotional experiences that we've been guided to look at. We've cleared out a lot of anger, grief, sadness, guilt, and denser energies that have prevented us from expanding our chakras. We've also cleared out so much karma. We've really been moving through intense karmic energies that have been spinning out and leaving. And we're going to feel that even stronger in 2025, that you've cleared out so much more than perhaps you even realize, because the mind can be the last thing to realize what's going on within our bodies or within our energy fields. So you could have a sense of feeling stronger and clearer, and then finally it clicks in the mind like, oh my goodness, yes, look, all of this is happening. I feel different. I feel renewed. I feel expanded. So that is certainly the case here with each of these chakras, and it's going to be more exaggerated and more alive in 2025 because of all the changes that are going on between these energy fields. So Uranus in Taurus is busting out anything that's been blocked, repressed, or held back in the sacral chakra. That has been going on since 2018. And here in 2025, we're going to have the first few months of sampling Uranus in Gemini. Again, Uranus enters Gemini July 7th, 2025. We'll travel to 1 degree, 28 minutes of Gemini, and then travel back into Taurus and re-enter Taurus November 8th. So July through the beginning of November, Uranus in Gemini is now moving up to activate even more in the throat chakra. And that's because Uranus is now going to be buzzing with new electrical currents. There's this lightning striking energy. There's a sense of coming alive. And this is fascinating to observe because this Uranus in Gemini is traveling behind Jupiter in Gemini, where Jupiter is in Gemini for 5 months of the year. And then here comes electrifying Uranus that awakens even more in your throat chakra. I mean, this is when so many brilliant ideas, concepts, solutions, projects, understandings are going to be coming through. We're going to have a lot of new teachings, new ways to learn, new understandings of bigger stories around humanity's journey. We're going to have some powerful breakthroughs, and we're actually going to start living our lives in these higher frequencies. So Uranus moving into Gemini activates even more in that throat chakra around what we want to say, write, learn, teach, and express. It's also going to be infiltrating how we live our lives, including how we move about in our daily lives. So there's going to be new transportation methods, new vehicles, new devices, new ways of working with information. We're going to have some really fascinating breakthroughs in communication styles, how we speak to each other, the pace at which we are going to be consuming knowledge and information is going to speed up. This is actually going to be a lot. And as I focus in on this energy on the throat chakra, it's almost like our bodies could be feeling this energy jolting us awake, jolting us open. And it feels like there's going to be significant changes in how you live your life. Like you move into a new lifestyle habit or new lifestyle patterns. You start doing something different with a quickness. You get some breakthroughs around what you want to change in your world. So life speeds up here and we feel it in our throat chakra. And it's interesting because it could be moving too fast at times that we could feel tongue-tied, almost like there's so much I need to say or express, but it's all happening too fast and it could be too much to comprehend. So know that this energy coming through with Uranus and Gemini is going to be working with our voices, our language capabilities, how we think, how we process. It's going to be affecting us neurologically. And then it moves back down to that sacral chakra. So think of this energy field here connecting the sacral chakra to the throat chakra. That's what Uranus is operating within you. Within that second chakra to the fifth chakra, the throat, we're going to be expressing ourselves creatively and passionately in a whole new way. There's going to be new industries opening up, new artistic fields, new ways of sharing what you do and how you do it. And then as Uranus moves back into Taurus, the energy then shifts from that throat chakra back down to the sacral chakra, and you get new insights into what you want to create, what you want to teach or learn, new areas of study. This could feel too like something is being lit up in that sacral chakra because of the new thoughts coming through. Wow, this is quite an interesting conduit of energy, moving from the sacral chakra up to the throat chakra and then back down to the sacral. Like, look at that loop of energy. It's going to bring some people alive. Like, you're going to have some incredible breakthroughs in what you do, what you share, even understanding what's possible for you now in this body. I feel that there's going to be more that opens up because I'm seeing both of these expand and they're really vibrant. Like, they have these beautiful colors and tones to them, that there is this fascinating support between now the sacral chakra that has a new outlet. It's newly expressing itself through the throat chakra because of Uranus moving between Taurus and Gemini in 2025. And even as I was sharing that with you, I felt like I couldn't talk fast enough. That's the energy. Again, I was almost tongue-tied there, but not quite. But that's the frequency shift, is that things really get turned up to 11 there. Now, Neptune in Pisces has a similar path as Saturn in 2025. Neptune is going to enter Aries for the first time in over 160 years on March 30th. 2025. And now this Neptune will move to 2 degrees, 11 minutes of Aries, then station retrograde and re-enter Pisces October 22nd, 2025. So Neptune will be in Aries for half of the year, starting a whole new chapter in the Neptunian cycle of growth and soul development. So this means Neptune is also spending time in the final degrees of Pisces. So think of that as the height of the crown chakra. And Neptune has been at home in Pisces since 2012. And we've had some big ascension experiences here that have asked us to tune into our spiritual gifts, our intuition, to trust what we're feeling and sensing that we can't see, to understand that this is a cycle of energies closing out related to soul lessons, karma, spiritual experiences, things we've had to understand and let go of while being compassionate and forgiving to ourselves, to turn to unconditional love and how we bring that in to our beingness as we move through the wildly imperfect human experience. So here is this Neptune in Pisces reaching a culmination point that involves multiple timelines and multiple soul experiences closing out so that you can move on. And 2025 then takes that beautiful completion energy of Neptune and Pisces, and we then connect it down to that root chakra where we come alive with new spiritual wisdom around what we want in this next cycle. Similar to the Saturn journey in 2025, we're connecting the crown chakra to the root chakra, but Neptune is softer. It dissolves and removes. And so Neptune in Aries is going to be taking away old parts of ourselves that are no longer meant to go forward with us. This is going to be quite interesting because of how Neptune is conjunct Saturn in Aries in 2025 and 2026. They have an exact conjunction in February 2026, but they're still at the same 1 degree of Aries through the middle of 2025. And this means that we are reconstructing our self-identity with our spiritual powers. We are now being guided to live daily, understanding how we have evolved and how we're meant to be walking on the planet with full empowerment over our spiritual capabilities, our intuitive senses. We're beginning new chapters in our lives and in our soul journey. So there's a powerful restart energy here that we are seeking to ground in through both the Neptune and Saturn influence in Aries. But again, Neptune is where we also need to step back and not be egoic about it, to not be selfish or self-absorbed, to understand that part of the Neptune in Aries concept is that we're meant to detach from outdated primal programming, that we don't have to go into fight or flight to be ourselves. We don't need to only be focused on our own needs or what benefits us at an individual level. Neptune in Aries is going to be reprogramming how we assert ourselves, how we stand strong in our bodies, personal needs, and desires. And there will be confusion around this as Neptune and Saturn are conjunct in Aries. So think of that as, again, working with the root chakra. And there could be some things that you're learning in a whole new way, because after going through the intense lessons of Pisces, now the energy coming into that root chakra is meant to be cleared out and stronger so that you can live your life with a new sense of self that involves your multidimensional abilities, your spiritual gifts, your intuitive knowingness. I feel this as a powerful reset for human evolution and the ability to be this next version of a human. Again, we're not just operating off of the five senses. Now we are bringing in and actively integrating the sixth sense, the seventh sense, the eighth sense, and more. And so just like Saturn, Neptune then returns to Pisces after spending about 6 months in Aries. So then moves from that root chakra back up to the crown chakra and is asking to remove and let go of anything that is holding you back from this reprogramming, that's holding you back from stepping in to this new version of yourself with full ownership of your capabilities, your strengths, your gifts, and who you're here to be in this lifetime. So it could be enjoyable to have a visualization between that root chakra to the crown chakra, because that is where Neptune is going to be moving, as well as Saturn is going to be moving between your energy fields. And then finally, we have Pluto in Aquarius throughout 2025, since this is now where Pluto remains until 2044. And this is connecting to your third eye chakra. This is where people are going to have incredible breakthroughs into their life path, their life vision. We're going to be seeing multiple timelines overlapping. We're becoming more multidimensional with the capability of looking at that third eye chakra and what it gives us access to. We're going to be reprogramming our beliefs to see things from a higher cosmic perspective. This also invites us to look at where we've overly attached to one outcome or one version of reality. There's a detachment here that Aquarius asks us to trust, because Pluto is going to show us what's weak, what is no longer supported for humanity's evolution. Pluto in Aquarius is also going to show us where we have unknowingly given our power away around our spiritual capabilities. Now, that third eye is very powerful, and for many people, it's going to expand. It's going to grow exponentially. You're going to have moments of clear knowingness. You're going to feel that through your clairvoyance, clairsentience, claircognizance. There's going to be more clairs coming online for many people. In fact, you could feel like you have many of them happening at once. There's going to be breakthroughs of limitations so that you can see further, see wider. I also feel that more people are going to be going into other spiritual gifts, such as remote viewing, different forms of visual manifestation, timeline jumping, connecting to other realms and dimensions, also traveling to other planets with this powerful insurgence into the third eye chakra. I feel like people are also going to have memories come forward around their time on other planets, on other environments, lifestyles, personas, characters, different parts of your soul experience are also going to come through. It could be really confusing, and it's also going to be expanding our concept of consciousness. We're going to have some brilliant breakthroughs in what it means to be a conscious human, in what it means to be responsible with energies, responsible with these gifts, and to also pay attention to how these energies work within the universal spiritual laws. And that's because even if you have access to certain gifts or you have certain capabilities that you turn to, there are still issues of ethics, morality, and responsibility that need to be tended to. You could think of it as the universal spiritual law of cause and effect. If I take this action, what's the boomerang effect that comes back to me energetically? Is this responsible? Just because I can, should I do this? Is this wise? This is also where people unknowingly sign up for their next round of karmic experiences when they're not responsible with their energy in all ways. And that's going to be one of the themes here of Pluto in Aquarius, especially as it relates to the third eye chakra, is you want to be wise with what you're choosing, what you're doing, what you're understanding, because that's part of being powerful in your gifts as well. Responsible and powerful. So that's going to be a big focal point of energy for many people in 2025 is this third eye expansion, as well as that plutonic destruction of where you've been limited in your power or where you have manipulated power or used it in a form against others or against yourselves. That's part of what comes up with Pluto, is that there are consequences to how we use our energy. So again, remaining wise and responsible is essential. So our chakras are definitely growing and expanding as these energies change and move forward in our solar system. Depending on how the transits are working with you, you may feel some of them more than others, but it is working with all of us collectively. That is part of how astrology happens, is that we all feel the energies at some level of our being, even though some are more individual for us. Now, I will put below the episode what I have just described so that you can see it in written form. And I hope this has given you new ways of preparing for these energetic transitions, to know what you can do to prepare your energy for the expansion and the activations, as well as how to receive the energies as they open up for us. And if in addition to this information, you want to understand how the universal spiritual laws connect to your chart, please check out my online program called Your Cosmic Codes, 12 Universal Spiritual Laws in Your Astrology Chart. People have had great breakthroughs and understandings about their energy through this lens, which is another layer of interpretation of your chart. This is another way to get into the heart of what you are embodying in this lifetime, some of your own themes and lessons, as well as your own gifts. Now, we are all connected to all universal spiritual laws, but this is just a cool way to understand what is happening for you more specifically. And then I give you some exercises to go through so that you can work with this and see how, for example, the universal spiritual law of abundance is showing up for you, or how the law of action or the law of rhythm is revealing itself. Again, I hope this gives you more ways of connecting to your own energy, as well as powerfully working with it. I will put the link below the podcast episode here as well. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have enjoyed this topic, and I'll be back every Monday and Wednesday for a new podcast episode, and wishing you the very best as we move into 2025 and into these new multidimensional experiences of ourselves.